Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Morning Meta. I am yours truly, Travis Spencer.
I'm Camilla Crawley.
Camilla, it's time for community conversations again. Yes. So we'll get started with what? Grounding,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll set the intention, centering thought, and then we'll have this wonderful conversation.
All right. Sounds
Yes.
good.
All right. So let's begin.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm doing the grounding today.
Yeah.
So, our grounding today is going to be really feeling those toes today. So, I'm going to invite you to, as you're inhaling, to notice the toes, squeeze the toes, and then as you're exhaling, relaxing the toes. So, this is a wonderful grounding practice. If you're in a place where you can be barefoot, it is awesome. But if you have to wear your shoes and socks and things like that, that's cool too. You can still do it in the shoes. So let's begin now, and we're going to connect it to the breath. So wherever you are, as you inhale, squeeze those toes together. Exhale and relax. Inhale and squeeze. Exhale and relax. Inhale and squeeze. Exhale and relax. Yes. All right.
All right. Now let's set an intention for today. Take the next 5 to 10 seconds to decide how you want to take care of yourself today or what you want to focus on. You can also use our sentence stem, my intention for today is, and just finish the sentence. So go ahead and get started on that, setting that intention for today.
Hmm.
All right. Well, wishing you all the best on that intention, especially on the part where we try our best not to get caught up in the outcome of what we've decided our intention is.
Mhm.
Each day, we're practicing on how we can just allow things to unfold. We can put our attention on something and then practice releasing it and see how it unfolds and just meet that
Mhm.
as it happens.
Yes, yes, yes. You know, I just thought about there's something that you always like, say actually is that when you um, be intentional with attention,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll see the thing or whatever you're dealing with or whatever you're trying to manifest expand.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know I did a poor job of sharing that. Can you share it with everyone?
Well, really, it comes from those seven spiritual laws of success.
Hmm.
And everyone out there, they're not my laws. This is from the author and teacher Deepak Chopra. But basically, it just says, whatever you, um, when you set an intention on it, you put all of your attention on that intention, and then that's what's going to grow and expand. So the more that you place that energy on something you desire, that attention on it, the more you start to see it come to fruition or manifestation, basically. And that goes both ways.
Hmm.
So if it's something that's negative that we're constantly putting our attention on, that's going to keep growing. If it's something positive we're putting our attention on, then that's going to grow.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's a powerful practice.
Hmm. Yes, it is. I'm a living witness of it. So, good people, I am going to read the quote, wonderful, wonderful quote from our ancestor Malcolm X. And it's going to really support in serving um, as the jump off for our conversation today. So, the quote is, when I is replaced with we, even illness becomes wellness. Again, when I is replaced with we, even illness becomes wellness. So, what comes up for you when you hear that?
At first that I was visualizing that word illness
Mm-hmm.
and doing the replacement with we to wellness. And what comes up for me is that it really speaks to we or community being the medicine
Mm.
for whatever ills our community or ills us. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the we is the medicine for that illness. The we is the medicine for all the things, and I think of we as being equated to community.
Mm. Yes, yes. I I'm thinking about what we just spoke about, what you shared with Deepak Chopra said,
Mm-hmm.
about putting intention with attention, and it expands.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of when we come together,
Mm.
then we become healed, we become well, we begin to see the things that we desire as a community begin to manifest. You um, it is very interesting. I think in the Black community, we hear so often the only thing we need to do to come together,
I
if
know.
we could just come together,
Mm-hmm.
and that is something very interesting. And I invite you, everybody that's online, that's watching, and to share, what do you think keeps us from coming together? Because the wellness is at the end of that. Once we become a we instead of I. So, what do you
Mm-hmm.
think? What do you think prevents us from unifying?
I think that there's a lot of factors. I think
Mhm.
some that are coming up for me right now is thinking about for so long. We have been here, and when I say we have been here, I mean our ancestors have been
Mhm.
here for so long, and not under the best circumstances in terms of some of our ancestors being enslaved and oppressed and discriminated against, and it still exists today. It's in a different form, and I think in an effort to survive, we have um, we've separated from some of the things that could be helpful, like this idea or prioritizing that idea of the we in the community and coming together, because we have done what we needed to do to survive. We've been conditioned in individualism, right? So
Mhm.
in this country, in this society, that is what is prioritized, and that is what we are constantly told, over and over again, from our ancestors moving forward. That what's most important is you you get out there and you get what you can get.
Mhm.
So I think that's one of the things. I don't see it as something malicious, like people in our community that are just sitting around like, yeah, I'm just gonna not be about community and do these other things. I think it's part of conditioning
Mhm.
that we've been told that to have value, and also to be successful, the priority is individualism. So you just
Mhm.
focus on yourself and what you can have. So that's one of the things that I think has kept us from so-called coming together,
Yeah,
amongst other things too.
yeah, I agree. I think that there's been quite a bit of conditioning around being separate. The idea of bootstraps, you can pull yourself up by your own
Yeah.
bootstraps. Um, and we know from, I think, a genetic level that we need one another. We know that community is most important. However, we continue to be bombarded with these messages that we have to do it on our own.
Hmm.
In one of the messages that I find most interesting is it's to tell you you can make it, but then you can reach back
Hmm.
and pull
Hmm.
somebody
Yeah.
forward. And the idea of that, you know, is it's I don't think it's the best idea. I think the idea of reaching back, helping, yes, absolutely. But thinking that you need to go alone and then you can come back and help someone is not quite the way to do it. I believe that we can go further together than me as an individual moving alone. You know.
And that makes me think of that African proverb, which I right now don't know. I can't recall it verbatim, but it's like if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go, and I'm saying further, even though this might not be the exact wording, but if you want to go further, then go together, kind of kind of thing. So that's
Yes.
what I was thinking about, that African proverb. So yeah, I think that's a part of it. That conditioning. I think the other part of it is, again, being so used to being in survival mode to the point where some of us see it as normal, you know.
Hmm.
This always just kind of like keeping our head above water, the struggle, the hustle, the grind, all those things have been so normalized too, and I think that also separates us as well
Hmm.
in terms of coming together
Yeah.
in community.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's been normalized in an abnormal situation.
Hmm.
The way that we're living now, it's abnormal. This isn't the way that we as humans have been designed to live, to be in pursuit and to consume so much, to not care about our brothers and sisters, our fellow man, if you will, um, and to think that it's all about us. That isn't the way. So when we begin to think back to what Malcolm X said in that quote, we have to replace the I with we. And that also means being able to be compassionate towards ourselves and others, to be able to give grace, to hold people accountable, to be able to bring in boundaries that's necessary. All of these things are important, because within all of that, you begin to learn about yourself and others, being able to do that.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think all of those elements are key. And also, I'll add on to that, understanding.
Hmm.
And I think that all of those things that you mentioned, one of the ways to begin to get closer to that is through healing. So
Hmm.
yes, we are talking very much talking about community, and we know that the community is made of the individuals.
Hmm.
So a part of it is everyone also turning inward and doing that individual healing work,
Hmm.
because then that makes it a much more open space for the community to move forward in whatever they're trying to do, because you already know, and you may have experienced this just being out in different spaces, whether it's work or different groups and things like that. If you come together and it's unhealed energy, there can be many challenges that didn't necessarily have to be there
Hmm.
within the group, because that unhealed energy is going to show up at some way, some point. So I think that it's important to say that as well, that that's also a part of why it's important to have the we
Hmm.
in the situation. Individual, the individual work impacts the collective work.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I want to note that we're saying individual, but we're not saying separate.
Right.
So that's very important. It is important that we do our individual work, but we're also maintaining connection to community and understanding that community is a reflection of ourselves.
Absolutely.
The communities that we are all in, and I say that to everyone that's listening today, reflect on the community that you're in right now. What is that community reflection sharing with you about where you are in life, where you're going in life, and who you're going with? And if you're in isolation, the invitation is to find a community, or build a community, you know, but don't do it alone.
Hmm. Yeah, this is reminding me of the professor at Temple University that teaches in their African, they have an Africology department there. And he mentions that the philosophy, the ancestral philosophy in terms of Africa, is that, we take care of our most vulnerable. And I think that's where this quote brings me back to, because because the quote is using the word illness and turning it into wellness. And at the basic level, to me, this is about how can we both take care of ourselves so that we can take care of each other.
I think we should just leave on that one.
All right.
Can you say that one more time?
Well, let's think about that. How is it that we can take care of ourselves so that we can take care of each other? Yeah.
Yes. I think we can go home on that one.
All right. Well, that's the call to action. Just give us some thoughts. So we're not, professing to have all the answers here, but it's just a conversation, and we're leaving you with a reflection that's part of that call to action. Yeah. And I think that's about it. So like, subscribe, share, and you all keep joining us in community as well.
Yeah. And we're going to start each day grounded, intentional, and connected. Ashe.